Good evening. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to a very, very special occasion for the town of Winthrop and the Winthrop Public Schools. At this time, I would like to invite Reverend Father Charles Burke to the podium for the invocation.
Let us pray. Lord God Almighty, in your kindness, hear our prayers. We dedicate this beautiful new Winthrop Middle High School to the education of youth, to the progress of the sciences, and to learning. May it become a center where students, teachers, and staff involved with the words of truth will search for the wisdom that guides our lives. And I make this prayer to you in your holy name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Father. I would now ask you all to rise again for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Senior Meg Mahoney. And then I would ask that you please remain standing for the Star Spangled Banner, featuring our Winthrop High School Chorus, directed by Mr. Brooke Cornelly.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. You may be seated. As we begin our ceremony, I'd like to take a moment and recognize our guests that are sitting on the stage. To my left, we have the Speaker of the House, Robert DeLeo, State Treasurer Deborah Goldberg, the Executive Director of Massachusetts School Building Association, Jack McCarthy, Town Council President Robert Driscoll, Town Manager James McKenna, the School Building Assistance Committee Co-Chairpersons Mary Lou Osborne and David Doppendorf, the Secretary of Education James Pizer, our School Committee, our Chair Don Sullivan and Vice Chair Brian Perrin, School Committee members Laura Callis, Tina Capobianco, Ron Vecchia, High School Principal, Mr. Matthew Crombry, and Middle School Principal, Brian Curley. Sitting behind them is our William P. Gorman Principal, Eileen Pearson, and Arthur T. Cummings Principal, Ryan Kennedy. Of course, we have our Chief of Police, Terry Delahanty, and our Fire Chief, Paul Flanagan. From Skanska, our Operations Project Manager, Dale Caldwell, HMFH Architects Alan Bernstein, And representing Domain, Walt Kincaid. Now, we also have in our front row the Vice Chair of the Town Council and a member of the School Building Committee, Mr. James Lettieri. And in our second row, which this committee, this project would not be done with, which is our actual School Building Committee, most of the members there, and our Construction Chair, Mr. Dave Gerard, Richard Martin, our Finance Chair, Michael Perez, Gary Scarro, who's also the former School Committee Chair, Karen Chavez, Barbara Flavin, Robert Demento, Paul Giella, Monica Ford, Rich Cifuni. We have our Town Council members here, Nicholas Del Vento, Linda Calla, Paul Barone, the past president of the Town Council, Mr. Peter Gill, and the chairman of our Advisory Committee on Finance, Robert Wynn. It's important as a small community that we all come together, and this group of people that I just introduced to you is the reason we have this project here today. They all worked collaboratively with each other through many, many years, but made sure that we would do what was in the best interest of our students. And as you witnessed tonight walking through this building, I think you can attest that they have done a phenomenal job of building a middle school, high school for many years to come that our students will certainly appreciate. I know as the superintendent of Winthrop Public Schools, I want to thank you all for your commitment to our students. We, Winthrop Public Schools, appreciates and values the gift that the Winthrop community and the Massachusetts School Building Authority has given us. Our students and staff love coming to school each day. We started this dream in 2007. In 2011, we asked Massachusetts School Building Authority to allow us to consider as part of our feasibility study a combined middle high school. In 2013, with the help of Winthrop Cares, we presented our plan to the community, constructed through the School Building Assistance Committee to the public, who overwhelmingly supported our endeavors. We began construction in the summer of 2014, and 2 years later, we opened a state-of-the-art brand new Winthrop High School Middle School on time and on budget. As I stated to my staff on opening day, I am honored and proud to be the superintendent of Winthrop Public Schools. At this time, I would like to ask some of our distinguished guests to say a few words. To come to the podium first will be our Massachusetts State Treasurer, Ms. Deborah Goldberg.
I'm so used to coming to Winthrop to honor my favorite Speaker of the House, Bobby DeLeo, that I automatically assumed he would speak first. But I guess that's not the case. Let me tell you something. These evenings like this are what makes it great to be the treasurer of the state of Massachusetts. And I'm sure it makes it great for people all on this stage to have participated in something and see it come to fruition when you know that it's going to have a direct and positive impact on every child here in your community. It's an astounding accomplishment. And for me just to be able to facilitate that and work with every community, and I come from local politics. I was the chairman of the Board of Selectmen in my own home community, and I know how hard it is to get everybody on board and to work together and get the message across that the expense is worth it, because when you start to look at the numbers, you say to yourselves, oh my goodness. But the reality is that for Massachusetts in particular, our success lays with our children. We are a community of high-tech, biotech, healthcare, you name it, it requires skills. And what's so wonderful about my job is then I can participate in giving you the buildings that you need to acquire the skills that are so necessary to get a good paying job and to thrive for yourselves, for your families, and also for our entire community. And every one of you here on this stage can give yourselves a pat on the back, and all of you out there who supported this endeavor, who understood the hard work it was going to take, and look what you have to show for it. So this is a proud moment for Winthrop. It's a proud moment for us to be able to be working with you, and I thank you for allowing me to participate with you in this exciting time, because this is one of the real pleasures of the job that I get the honor of doing for all of you every day. So thank you.
Thank you. And now I'd like to bring up, not only is he the Speaker of the House, but he's our representative. And education has always been his top priority. I know the first day, not even the first day, 2 weeks before I started to be the superintendent of Winthrop, the Speaker and I met with Gail Conlon in the old building to talk about, can we get this feasibility study to consider the middle school, high school project? And along came Kathy Craven as well from the MSBA at the time. And so he has been so instrumental in our progress here. So ladies and gentlemen, the Speaker of the House, Mr. Robert DeLeo.
Thank you so much. John, I'm going to be very, very brief. I'll just go up till about halftime of the game, that's all. So you'll be able to catch the fourth quarter where all the excitement will start anyways. But thank you so much to Mr. Massero, a really long-term friend, and I can tell you, I can remember specifically, that day, in terms of hearing some of the issues and some of the problems that we had to address. So to be here and to celebrate the opening of this new facility is just a fantastic and a moment for our community. And this new school truly represents a collaboration between the local officials and the Winthrop community and the state officials as well. It's so wonderful to be joined, first of all, by Treasurer Goldberg. And I just want to ask you one question. What was the town, when you first ran for statewide office, that supported you in your efforts?
Winthrop!
All right, I just want to make sure I had that right.
We know that. We beat the governor candidates here.
That's right. I'm never going to hear the end of it. I love it dearly. And to have Secretary Pizer here, welcome, Mr. Secretary. And I will tell you that in my working with the Secretary and the Governor's Office and the administration in general, we have no better administration in terms of commitment to education than we have to the Commonwealth. So thank you, Mr. Secretary, the Governor as well. I also want you to tell the Governor to make sure that I'm looking forward to those days when Swampscott High School comes to Winthrop High School to play in this beautiful facility, and how I look forward to that. Please make him sure that you let him know. Tell him it was message delivered by Joseph Moncory. So I'm sure that he and I are going to be here for that as well. And speaking of the Senator Moncory and Senator Petroselli, both had previous commitments, wanted very, very badly to be here, but they couldn't. To the MSBA Director McCarthy, who he and I went to the same high school, not together, I just found out, 10 years apart. He's older than I am, but pretty close anyways. I didn't realize it was 10 years, but it is 10 years. So thank you, Mr. Director, for being here. and especially to the folks who really did this on a day in and day out basis, who really made this possible. Whether it was the members of the school committee, the elected officials of the town council, obviously the folks on the building committee, the prior folks who served in office and whatnot. Thank you so much for your dedication to this project. The local officials have already been recognized, and I don't want to obviously repeat their names, but I want to make it clear. It was really their dream that took the dream, I should say, and made this a reality. I believe they're doing a large part to the eagerness of all parties to work together that we're here this evening. Each of you, as well as the parents and most importantly, the residents of our great community, understood the unique needs of Winthrop students so that together we could build a school that will best serve our kids. Studies show that physical environment has a direct impact on academic performance. Quality school facilities provide a strong foundation for top-notch learning, and they motivate students and teachers alike. This new school will educate almost 1,000 Winthrop students, and it will instill a place of pride in our children and help them come to school ready to learn. I saw that when I visited earlier this past month. The lab space and the resources of technology will help students thrive in the STEM fields or compel students to focus on a subject that they probably previously even weren't really interested in and probably weren't even really aware of. And as you know, being a big sports fan as I am, I was excited to see the gym where the Winthrop Vikings, I'm sure, are going to win many, many games, especially against Swampscott High School. Dr. Massero has also showed me the beautiful theater space among the state-of-the-art areas. And I have to tell you, I was shocked. I was really shocked to see that Dr. Massero would have put such an emphasis on the arts and theater. I just couldn't believe it. So I want to thank you, Mr. Massero, for making that even part of this project. You had your way. Quite frankly, if he had his way, this would have been the whole school of arts as opposed to the high school. But we are fortunate to live in a state that puts such a high premium on providing high-quality schooling to all residents. Our work in the legislature, I think, is a prime example of that. And I think that working with the treasurer, and I think working, as I mentioned, with Governor Baker, who feels so strongly about quality education, that's why I'm so proud to be here today. In 2004, the House led the way in passing a law which dedicates 1 cent of the sales tax to bettering our learning facility. Because of this investment, we've been able to improve the education of students across the Commonwealth by investing some $12.2 billion in our schools. And for that, I need to also thank our treasurer and also to thank our SBA director as well. I am so proud and pleased that Winthrop will be the benefit of that incredible effort. One which is an investment in the future of our students and an investment in our town as well. So thank you once again for inviting me here today, and let's hope we all have a great school year. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I'm looking out at the audience and I recognize an individual that was there with us at the beginning, first president of the town, Tom Riley. Thank you, Tom, for everything you did for us. And our school committee member who was on for 4 years, Mary Alice Sharkey. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to bring the Secretary of Education to the podium, Mr. James Puzzo.
Thank you, Superintendent. It is truly great to be here, and I want to congratulate all of you for the work that you've done to get to this point. As the speaker has said, as the treasurer has said, as I think all of you know, these buildings don't happen by themselves. They are community enterprises, and when the community comes together and when the state can be a partner, great things can happen. So I congratulate literally everyone in this room and probably everyone in this community for making this possible. We're here tonight to celebrate the completion of a project, and that's right for us to do, because this is a tremendous undertaking to take it from the beginning, to take it from a concept, even a dream, to this beautiful reality that we see here tonight. But we cannot lose sight of the fact that tonight actually really marks a beginning, not an end. As beautiful as this building is, what is even more beautiful and ultimately more important is what will go on inside of this school in the years and decades to come. As we thank the treasurer, MSBA, the district and town leaders, of course the speaker, and all of you who have had a hand in this incredible project and shepherding it to a successful completion, apparently on time and under budget. Was it under budget or on budget? Under budget. So there was a refund, Madam Treasurer. Is that true? Did that check come into the coffers? All right. And I will tell you, years ago, I was the chairman of the State Board of Education during a time when MSBA was under the responsibility of the Department of Education. I can tell you it's in much better hands now, so thank you so much. But as we thank all of those who were involved in this project and bringing it to fruition, let's also thank the educators and the staff who will take advantage of this incredible space to transform the lives of children. So if we could all give a round of applause for all of the educators and staff. They and that goal is ultimately what this night is all about. And so again, I want to thank you all for the work that you've done and congratulate you on this tremendous success.
At this time, I'd like to introduce the President of the Winthrop Town Council, Mr. Robert Driscoll.
Thank you, Mr. Massaro. I'm honored to be here tonight to participate in this gathering. I actually feel like I've only been in office for 9 months. When I took office, this project was almost completed, so I'm speaking on behalf of all of the folks on the town council and other committees who have been working on this diligently for the last 5 or more years. It's really significant, I think, that this gathering here and the distinguished guests that we have here today just speak to the importance of this building, and it also speaks to the success of our town. I really feel like our town is in some sort of a renaissance, and it's being supported by our residents. I mean, everybody's really been enthusiastically supporting all of this activity, and I think that's really a great thing, and it's a sign of good things to come. What I also was thinking about, I actually graduated from the school that was on this site. I wanted to say the year. Well, it was 1975, so I'm old. But it was a year when the schools, the junior high school, which was the Willis School, it was so filled. We were doing split sessions, actually. One session started at 6:30 in the morning, and the next one started, I think, at 1 o'clock. So it was great if you got the afternoon one, you could sleep all morning. But anyways, we moved here back in, I probably started school here in 71. The school was only, I don't know, maybe 4 years old or 5 years old at that time. And I was thinking, I was so thrilled to get out of the junior high school and come to that new building back then. I'm thinking the students today must feel very similar to that. I think you've got a great building, it's wonderful, you guys are going to have a blast here. The last thing I'll mention is that all of the staff, the school department, the school committee, the work during the transition was a lot, and I think they managed that very well, trying to manage temporary classrooms and small combining classes and all kinds of activity to try to make it last, make the education happen while this building was being built. And I think that they did a tremendous job, and I think they all really deserve a round of applause for getting through that period. So with that, on behalf of the town council, I just congratulate everyone, thank everyone, and wish the students and the faculty much success for years to come. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce the chairperson of the Winthrop School Committee, Ms. Dawn Sullivan.
I'm not quite sure what there is left to say. You guys have covered so much, and I just have so many people to thank tonight on behalf of the school committee and as a parent in this community as well. First of all, welcome to the Winthrop High School, Winthrop Middle School. Thank you so much, Speaker Leo, for being a constant support to our community. I'd also like to thank the MSBA for guiding us through this process, Skanska and Gilbane for delivering an amazing project on time and under budget. We, the school committee and the community, have so much gratitude, overwhelming gratitude for the School Building Assistance Committee, who volunteered countless hours making hard decisions about design, utility, and details that I'm sure most of us will never know. And thank you so much to the abutters in the classes of 2015 and 2016 who were truly inconvenienced the last 2 years. And thank you to the staff and administrators who went above and beyond to deliver quality education to our students during the 2 years we had a transition. And special thank you to Nora Grimes who helped orchestrate the closing of the old high school and help with the transition as well. We are so grateful to the community who recognize that investing in our future means having a solid public education. And I want to acknowledge the senior citizens who came out to vote and support our school, our new school, and people said they weren't going to do it. And Winthrop is worth it, and thank you. I see you over there, Marcy, Mariana, Carolyn, Jim is around somewhere. And so many of us that sat 3 years ago, wringing our hands upstairs at the Winthrop Yacht Club, deciding, do we put it on the ballot? How do we campaign this? How do we get people to believe in this project? How do we get people to buy in? How do we get people to know that it's important? And overwhelmingly, the community knew. So I'm going to choke up and I apologize, but be proud. Be proud that when great things happen in Winthrop, it is because a few people believe that they can make a difference. And yes, indeed, a few people with vision and passion truly make a difference. And I've seen it over and over again in this community. And last, to the students of Winthrop Middle School and Winthrop High School, welcome to your new, shiny, clean, high-tech building. And we understand that simply brick and mortar and some high-tech gadgets does not make a school. And it's your vision and your passion to learn and to become people who change the world that will make it a school. So, thank you.
Now, before I introduce our next guest, I just want to say one thing. Ms. Sullivan had mentioned our folks that helped build this building. And, Skanska, who worked with us from the beginning, and then we brought in HMFH, who designed this incredible space, and then we had Gilbane build it. And I have to tell you, week after week, along with Dick Lawton and myself and Matt Crombie, we would go to those meetings on a Tuesday morning. And the reason why this project was so successful is because of those 3 individuals that you see over there, and the other individuals that were here, who worked day in and day out collaboratively to make sure that this project was successful. So I really wanted to make sure that those 3 companies deserve the credit that they deserve. So thank you. And now when it all began, and it helped, and we went through many, many meetings and fun times, and I explained before how I got the pleasure of meeting Mr. McCarthy with my wife at his school when we went to see our students from Winthrop in a drama festival. I asked, can I see a tour? And he said, sure, Mr. Massero, you can see a tour. I'll be happy to give you a tour. And I was like, how does he even know who I am? And he says, I'm Jack McCarthy from the MSBA. You're looking to build a school in Winthrop. And I said, you're correct. And he brought us, he gave a wonderful tour, and it's been great ever since. And so Jack, I'd like you to come up and say a few words. Jack McCarthy.
you very much. And the first question I asked him when I got here today was, "Hey, how'd the stage come up?" So I knew he would know. The mission of the Mass School Building Authority is to partner with communities to support the design and construction of educationally appropriate, flexible, sustainable, and cost-effective public school facilities. And this building certainly exceeds that ideal. Benjamin Franklin, who also was a Latin school graduate, Benjamin Franklin, way before us. Benjamin Franklin once said, "An investment in education pays the best interest." And with the MSBA, are proud to be your investing partners to the tune of approximately $42 million. The Speaker DeLeo talked about the creation of the MSBA in 2004, but what he forgot to mention was the driving force that he was in creating the Mass School Building Authority. Because of the statute that he wrote, we're able to spend $12.5 billion. We've cleaned up a backlog of over $10 billion worth of projects. And we're up to, I think all our projects now are total, our share and your share is over $16 billion. That's more than the big game. And I like to think that we spent it a lot better than they did. And Superintendent Lucero and I, we do have a mutual love of drama and music, and the one thing that I was really happy about was really this area right here, and the fact that you now have a band room. And I remember at the preferred schematic, I remember asking you, "You're putting in a band room, you don't have a band room in the old facility." And I said, "Why?" He said, "Well, when funds were tight, they cut out the program in the lower school so that eventually there was no band." And I'm glad to see, I know we have a middle school band now, and I'm glad to see that happen. What you don't know, John, is that night I went to a meeting in my town of Norwood because we were having the same situation. And one of the proposals was to cut music in the elementary school. And I told them the story about Winthrop High, and they put the money back in. So thank you very much for that. Just because we cut the ribbon doesn't mean the MSBA goes away yet. We also pay for commissioning, 100% of commissioning. And what that does is it proves out all of the systems, proves that your windows don't leak, your roof doesn't leak, that your air conditioning works. And it does work very well, doesn't it, Treasurer? And so we're here throughout the whole year. We'll get through all the seasons, so we're still with you. And I want to congratulate the town. You did a nice job, John, talking about the consultants that you hired, but you guys hired them. And so I just want to congratulate the building committee to have the foresight to hire 3 great groups. I knew this was going to be on time and under budget. Why? Because they've done it before for me. So congratulate yourselves for doing a good job of picking this together. And I just want to, where's Maria Popolo from my office? She's running around taking pictures. She's a great addition to the office. She's only been, I don't know, less than 6 months, right? And she used to work for Anthony Petrucelli, so many of you guys probably know her as well. So, and I just want you to know I'm wearing my Viking purple today. And in closing, there's a quote that I just love to use at events like this. Dan Valentine was a reporter for the Salt Lake City Tribune. And he once described a school as a building with 4 walls with tomorrow inside. And I'm proud to have played a bit of the Viking tomorrow, so thank you very much.
Now I'd like to have the co-chairs of our school building committee say a few words. Mrs. Mary Lou Osborne and Mr. David Dockendorf.
Thank you, Mr. Massera. Thank you all for attending tonight to help us celebrate this great addition to our community. I would like to especially thank our school building assistant committee members and their families for so much time spent dedicated to planning this wonderful educational facility. My thanks go out also to the Mass School Building Authority, Gilbane, HMFH, Skanska, and the professionals from these fine organizations who are assigned to work on our school project and who brought our idea of a new school building to life. And I would like to thank the state and town leaders and townspeople of Winthrop who supported us along the way. 30 years ago, teacher astronaut Krista McAuliffe said, "I touch the future, I teach." What a beautiful sentiment. The townspeople of Winthrop can say now, we touched the future, we built a new school. Thank you.
Well, I wanted to keep it a little bit brief because I think everyone's been thanked a couple of times, but I want to reiterate again, thank you everyone up on the stage. And most importantly, I volunteered for this committee over 7 years ago, and I can tell you that without the phenomenal support of this community, that we wouldn't have been able to produce this beautiful school. I know that there was such a need that with the old schools that we had, in order to invest in our education for the community, I wanted to say thank you very much to the community for supporting the vote. Thank you.
At this time, I'm going to ask our selected students from the Winthrop Middle School Drama. They're going to come up, and this will also be directed by Mr. Brooke Cornelly. They're going to sing God Bless America. So before we have our closing remarks, I would like to ask the co-chairs of the committee to hold the ribbon out. We're going to ask Megan Mahoney to do the traditional cutting of the ribbon for us. And we'll have everybody stand, and then I'm going to invite Mr. James McKenna, our town manager, to give us our closing remarks. Also, folks, just so that you're aware, right after, we do have a little reception in the high school cafeteria. That's good, that's good. Ready? So we'll do on the count of three. You ready, Megan? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Hey!
That was incredible. Hi everyone, I'm Jim McKenna, Town Manager, and I'll keep my comment brief. What I've done here, I was inspired a little bit today, John, and I actually thought of doing something a little different. I wrote a poem, and I thought I could get a little bit of help from maybe the folks down the front. So when I raise my hand, I want you to say a refrain, and the refrain is, Winthrop is worth it. Can you do that? Okay. From Triton Ave to Morton Street, from the homes in the maze to the Point Cottages, from Governor's Park to Seal Harbor, the Highlands to the Hill, we know we are one community because it is worth it. That's right. The town council and the school committee worked together because they shared a common vision. And with the SBAC making all the right decisions, we now sit here proud of what has come to be, because Winthrop is worth it. Today, a new building occupies where one used to be. A middle school, too, keeps the high school company. But those youthful dreams still well intact, fortified by design and an encouraging plat, where every student can experience success because Winthrop is worth it. The smiles on their faces announce a spirit refreshed, with the staff and the teachers all bustling about new lights, new lockers, new theater, new labs. Everyone has a corner in this wonderment pad to learn, to grow, to become, and to lead. And everyone to live in the embrace of this, achieved by a community that truly cares, a most gracious gift, because Winthrop is worth it. Thanks, everybody. Congratulations to everybody. Enjoy the evening.
Folks, that will conclude our program. We hope you'll join us out in the lobby. I do want to give a special thanks to my wife. Thank you, Trudy, for all the years of the support while we went through this. And also, I know we have a representative from our U.S. Clerk's office, so thank you for being here tonight. And let's go out and have a little refreshment so you can get home for the Patriots. Go Pats!